Hello and welcome back to my garden. In today's video, I thought I would take you through what I have growing in my new greenhouse. This greenhouse is new to me this year. I had a much smaller greenhouse in the last couple of years, but wanted something a little bit bigger, wanting something that I could walk into and just hold more plants, as I don't grow any plants in the house and start from seed, but I do love starting from seed and growing as many plants myself as I can. And so for me here in Toronto, Ontario, Zone 6B, it definitely requires some sort of a greenhouse if you want to get even a little bit of a head start on the garden season because of our temperatures here. Today is Friday, May 8th. It is a beautiful day here today, maybe about 12-15 degrees, sunny. The wind is a little bit cool, and I thought I would take you through what I have growing in my greenhouse. It is early morning, so it is time for me to open the door. We did have a frost last night, and I'm really curious to see how everything did. Temperatures did drop below 0 degrees Celsius. I'm going to open the doors and let's take a look inside. I love that the door opens nice and wide and completely stays open. I love that it's nice and tall for me to be able to walk inside because I am tall. And I also love that it has windows on each side because it really helps with the airflow. So let's take a walk inside and see what I have growing. So as you can see, this greenhouse is really nice and large, big enough to walk inside, and has shelves on all sides, so it really utilizes the space really well. I will leave a link for this greenhouse down in the description below if you have been looking for a good one. This one came from Amazon, and I am really pleased with the quality. Let's take a look inside. We'll start over here on the top shelf. These are all store-bought peppers and tomatoes. I decided not to grow peppers and tomatoes by seed myself this year because they do take anywhere between 6 and 8 to 10 weeks to germinate, and you really do need nice warm temps. If you're starting early, the best bet is for you to start them inside, and I just don't have the space or frankly the time it takes to commit to that much time to grow these plants from seed. So I have various varieties. I have a yellow pear, I have 4 sweet 100 cherries, and then I have the rest of the shelf as peppers. So we've got shepherd sweet peppers and pimento peppers, yellow bell peppers, red bell peppers, and more pimento sweet peppers, the other 2 from the 4-pack. Moving down to the lower shelf on the left hand side, we've got a combination of things, and I'll go all the way across the bottom and then go back up to the top. So I planted these green and purple bush beans. Some of them are going to be green, some of them are going to be purple. Frankly, I don't really care that much, so I didn't tag all of them. I just tagged the one so that I knew what all of these were in general. I have 4 kale plants left that I bought from the garden center that need to go in the ground ASAP. There is no reason for these to be growing in my greenhouse. The temperatures are absolutely fine for kale. I have a dinosaur kale, a red kale, maybe a red Russian or a red, I'm not sure, and 2 more green kale plants. So the goal is to get those in the ground today. I did buy my marigolds. I typically don't grow my own flowers from seed, and I bought marigolds early this year. The temperatures, they do not like the freezing temps, so they are in the greenhouse, really keeping warm and enjoying that warm temperature in here. They did just fine overnight. Same with the peppers above. Everything in here looks absolutely great. Moving along to the back shelf are things that I planted myself, and this is a variety of things. We have some tiny Tims, which are dwarf tomatoes. They don't get any larger than 2 to 3 feet tall. I also planted some bush beefsteaks and then some greens, some mixed greens and some arugula, some herbs, some dill, and some purple basil. So I'm really excited. Only the arugula has germinated so far. Here we have a mixture of things that I bought from the garden center as transplants. We have 2 big boy tomatoes. We have 4 black beauty eggplants. And then back here we have 4 Cubanelle sweet peppers. So they are all looking great. And by the way, all of my tomatoes, eggplant, and peppers got fertilizer yesterday when I watered them. So they are really looking nice and green. Moving over here to the next seedling tray, I planted this myself, and this back here in the 6-packs, these are all bush beans, a variety of bush beans, green bush beans, tender green bush beans, purple beans, dwarf beans, a variety. I absolutely love bush beans, and I try to grow as many as possible because they are so prolific. Here in the single square cells, I have scarlet runner beans. I have new arch trellises this year, and I'm really excited to see the scarlet runner beans grow on the arch trellises. They grow so tall, they grow red flowers, and the hummingbirds absolutely love them. That is the main reason why I grow the scarlet runner beans. Moving over to the right side of the greenhouse, on the lower shelf is another tray of marigolds. I'm not sure if these 2 trays will be enough, but I'm going to start with those and see if I end up needing more. I plant marigolds everywhere in my garden, all surrounding the plants, because they really help to deter certain pests, certain bad pests from your garden. So you'll see a lot of marigolds in my garden. The last tray on the bottom shelf is a really exciting tray for me. In the 6-packs, I have cucumbers. These are a variety of large and small cucumbers. We've got the Marketmore cucumber, tender green cucumber, and 2 packs of the Space Master cucumber. And again, I have new tall arch trellises, and I plan on growing these larger cucumbers up the trellises, and I am very, very excited. These have not germinated yet, but I am really looking forward to when they do. In the front here, 4 of these single cells are sunspot sunflowers. Really, really excited for these. I love sunflowers, and I poke them in my garden here and there wherever I can. And then of course I have to have watermelon. My favorite to grow is the sugar baby watermelon, and again with my new trellises I am very excited to grow these watermelon. Coming up to the second shelf on the right hand side, we've got more tomatoes, and if you ask me, you cannot have enough tomatoes. So I'll quickly go through the varieties I have in here. I have a Cherokee Purple. I actually have 2 midnight snacking tomatoes. I'm really excited for those. I have a Zebra tomato. Excited. That'll be a first for me this year. Back here is the Rainbow Blend tomato. So this is going to be a variety of colors. We've got a Lemon Boy here in the front, starting to flower, and I'm going to be picking those flowers off. Back here is a white tomato, which I've never grown. Another first for me this year. Really excited to see how that does. A golden cherry tomato here in the front, nice and tall, not flowering yet. Love that. It's getting nice. And then here is the other midnight snacking tomato in the back. Beautiful tray of tomatoes here. They got fertilizer yesterday. We've got more flowers here, so I will be pulling those until we get the tomatoes in the ground. Tomatoes are so prolific. I am not worried about pulling these flowers. I really want the plants to focus on growth and root development at this point in time. They don't need to be focusing on producing fruit. If I found that my peppers had flowers, I would pull those as well. Moving along on the second shelf, I have a tray of seeds that I started myself. We have pole beans here, another plant that I am really excited to grow because I didn't have proper trellising and anything tall enough to properly grow pole beans. So I'm really excited to grow pole beans this year. We've got a lot of basil happening here because this is something that I plant everywhere in my garden and pair with my tomatoes. So I always grow a lot of basil. It's also also one of my favorite herbs. And then here we've got some more dwarf tomatoes. Love my dwarf cherry tomatoes. They produce fruit all at once. They are determinants, so they don't last all season long. They grow, they produce fruit, and then they die off. So I really love to have a lot of these in my garden. More tiny Tims, some red robins, just 2 squares, and 2 cells of parsley. Moving up to the top, the last and final shelf in here, we've got a variety of things. Starting over here on the right, we've got sunflowers. These are the large sunflowers that are going to get 6, 8, 10 feet tall. I am so excited to see these bloom. Last year was my first year growing sunflowers successfully, and I cannot tell you how beautiful they were. They're looking a little green on top, which means they need a little bit of airflow. I might take these out and put them on my deck on the table today, and maybe move the soil around just a little bit so that we can just spruce up the soil and get them a little bit of airflow. Here in the middle, we've got my 4 hot peppers, my jalapeno peppers here on the left. This is the only hot pepper that I grow. I don't love spicy, so I don't grow a lot of hot peppers. Jalapenos I can handle. It is a nice mild pepper. I just potted these today from the original little 4-pack seed cells that they were in. So they were in nice big containers, because realistically here in zone 6B, we cannot plant our warm weather crops until after our last frost, which typically isn't until more like the middle or end of May. Here in this area, we like to use the May 2-4 weekend as a guiding point as to when we can plant our warm weather crops. However, I might actually wait till the last weekend in May to plant. We'll have to see how the temperatures run in the next few days to the next week or so. So our peppers and tomatoes, our eggplant, our cucumbers, these things cannot be planted outside yet, so everything has been up potted from what I bought them in originally in their little small 6-packs or 4-packs, and they have been growing beautifully, and this gives the roots more space for them to grow and develop. The 6 tomatoes that I have here, I have 4 Bonnie Best tomatoes and 2 Big Boy tomatoes, and I am so excited about the tomato season this year. The last tray is a tray of seeds that I started myself, and it is an entire tray of basil. They have all germinated, they are all doing nicely, and I cannot wait to plant this in my garden. This is what I have growing in my greenhouse this year. This is my first year growing and using a greenhouse of this size, and I couldn't be more thrilled about how everything is doing, especially since we've had a lot of really cold nights the last few weeks, sometimes dropping below freezing. And while I did bring some of these plants inside a couple of nights, they have done just fine in the greenhouse. And when I opened the door in the morning, the heat that pours out of here is insane. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my greenhouse. Please comment below and let me know what you're growing in your garden, what seeds you've started. Do you have a greenhouse? Are you excited for the growing season? As you can tell, I am very excited for the growing season. I utilized this space to its capacity, and I will probably makeshift more space in here throughout the season if I am being honest. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video so that you can follow along with me in my garden. Happy gardening!